Hey guys, Broheen here from the Gamer Emporium channel. Just recently got my Cleric to level 60, finally, so by request I have some Cleric builds that I'm going to start putting out. I'm going to start with Inquisitor, and I'm going to go into tanking probably for the next one. I'm going to also throw in some Piri and Warden. I have to learn Warden a little better yet, but Piri is pretty straightforward, and I have a single target Shaman build. Single target / AoE Shaman build for basically for solo play, and a Druid spec I grabbed off the forums for solo play. Also helps in dungeons a little bit. So this video I'm going to cover Inquisitor. So let's take a look at the soul. It's a 0 Justicar, 15 Defiler, 61 Inquisitor. Now there's multiple Inquisitor specs out there, but this one has a little bit more survivability. I know the one with Kabbalist in it uses Dark Water, and that one's the highest DPS one, but it's a little more of a pain in the ass as far as rotation goes. So for the sake of learning, I suggest we go with this spec. The 15 Defiler is 5 in Open-Minded, 4 in Obsessive, 1 in Siphon Vitality, and 5 in Peak of Form, 61 in Inquisitor, obviously. Buffs that are on the bar: Rage Blight, Armor of Awakening, Shroud of Agony, Spiritual Scrutiny, Spiritual Protection. I have enough PA that I keep my Archaic Tablet buff here. Also, you get Link of Distress and Blighted Greed from the Defiler tree. So Link of Distress, I don't really use that much because the Link ends up kind of owning me if we're in a high damage situation. So usually I just keep Blighted Greed on, which effectively increases my DPS because it gives me the Rage Blight or Grief Blight from my own buff, except when my party member, like my tank, if I were to put this on the tank, it would activate my Rage Blight for me whenever the tank is hit. So, as far as abilities on the bar, we'll start with all the non-macro stuff. Keep Bolt of Retribution and Bolt of Judgment on the bar. There's 4 dots you want to keep on the bar, which is Scourge, Vex, Siphon Vitality, and Sanctioned Heretic. AoE, you want Soul Drain. We have a couple cooldowns. Let's see where the cooldowns: Radical Coalescence and Harsh Discipline as cooldowns. So Harsh Discipline just more or less will restore health to you over the 3 seconds that it's channeled and deal quite a lot of damage. Radical Coalescence is your reset ability utility, so that way you can successfully go through a cooldown block and then refresh all of your cleric abilities and then do the cooldown block a second time. And then Spiritual Deficiency is just increased non-physical damage taken by 7%, which you don't need when you're in raid because you have a Archon or a Bard that's doing that for you, so a lot easier. Confound is also an interrupt, keep that on the bar. You have a Double Purge, which is really nice utility. Excuse me. As far as your cooldown abilities, Nice Year's Rebuke, and then a Bolt of Depravity macro, which has basically just Fanaticism and Bolt of Depravity. Now Fanaticism is what I call a force crit. It's a utility that makes the next spell critically hit. So and then mana regen I have here too. So let's take a look at the macros. Alright, Bolt of Depravity is just cast Fanaticism and cast Bolt of Depravity. I have a AoE, which is just cast a GTAE, Circle of Oblivion. And my old spam up there that I'm not going to worry about. So that's it. Alright, couple things to know. Soul Drain. This is my favorite part of this spec because you can macro or not macro. I don't macro it, but you can use Fanaticism. Hold on, let me get my meter up here. So I'll put my meter there. Now Fanaticism is on. This is going to critically hit, so watch what happens when I Soul Drain. Just boom. This is fucking spike it. 89 or 86k, I can't remember what that was. But then for AoE, you can Fanaticism, Soul Drain, and then Circle of Oblivion, keep Soul Drain on cooldown, and just keep casting Circle of Oblivion. That pretty much sums up your AoE for the spec in a nutshell. Alright, so let me do some abilities here and kind of show you some buffs that you get. So this up here, Life and Death Concord, reduces the cast time of your next Bolt of Depravity. So when you get 5 stacks of that, you'll get a reactive ability here. That's your Bolt of Depravity, which now this Life and Death Concord turns into Unified Theory. When you cast your Fanaticism and Bolt of Depravity, you now get 2 stacks of Echoing Concord, which reduces the cast time of Bolt of Retribution and Bolt of Judgment. You also get Zealotry, which increases crit hit chance with damaging life and death spells by 10% per stack. So each critical hit reduces stack by 1. So this is where you really want to, get into, like, if you're gonna do AoE ability and you don't have Fanaticism. There's all those crits, and it actually only took 1 off, even though it was a crit in multiple things from 1 ability. So that can be used to your advantage like mad. So here, let me gain back those. Nicer's Rebuke gives you 4 of Life and Death Concord. So in the beginning of your rotation, you saw me put up the buffs, or the dots. So Scourge, Vex, Siphon Vitality, and Sanctioned Heretic at the beginning of combat should be put up in that order every time. Your Sanctioned Heretic is life dealing damage, which will give you that stack of Life and Death Concord. Then your Nicer's Rebuke is the next button you hit, and that gives you the other 4 for Unified Theory. Once you cast your Bolt of Depravity, move on to 2 Bolts of Retribution to get rid of your stack of Echoing Concord and fill the rest with your Bolt of Judgment. And then you get a life, you get the Bolt of Depravity again with your, I can't remember what, Unified Theory. There we go, Unified Theory. I'm sorry, I had a loss for words. Unified Theory will let you cast your Bolt of Depravity again. By the time you cast that last Bolt of Depravity, your dots are about to fall off, so you have to have a refreshing phase. So this fight really breaks down to your dot phase, your cooldown phase, your bolt phase. So you have a refreshing dot phase, cooldown phase, then a bolt phase. So starting with the refreshing phase every time, this is real rotation here now, so I'm actually gonna force myself out of combat quick, so that way I can get an accurate reading. So while we do that, I'm gonna refresh my buffs, make sure all that stuff is up. I'm gonna clear the meter. Now, opening combat, always start with Spiritual Deficiency. Get all 4 of your buffs up, remember that order. Go into a Nicer's Rebuke right away. Get your Bolt of Depravity out, then use your Radical Coalescence, another Bolt of Depravity, another Nicer's Rebuke, hit him with a Bolt of Judgment, get another Bolt of Depravity in, then refresh your dots, because they're about to fall off at this point. So now you should get Bolt of Retributions, half a second off, the rest fill with Judgment. After every Bolt of Depravity, refresh your dots, then move on to your 2 Retribution and your 2 to 3 Judgment, depending. And we're hitting about, oops, I screwed up my own rotation. Nice. Well, I'm still learning anyways, so but the rotation's pretty simple actually, so it's just, take time to practice, and it's making me hit about 10k. If I hadn't screwed up the rotation there, it's making me hit about 10k. Careful on double tapping your Bolt of Depravity though, because it will start hard casting it, and that'll be a DPS loss for sure. Nicer's Rebuke on cooldown after your refresh phase, because you'll have Sanctioned Heretic give you that 1 stack of Life and Death Concord. Nicer's Rebuke will give you the other 4. And then remember 2 Bolts of Retribution and 2 to 3 of Judgment after every Bolt of Depravity. Making sure you're maintaining all 4 of your dots. And that's it, guys. So for gear that I have so far, it's just auction house and crafted gear. I do have, I think this is second best in slot, second or third best in slot seal. Thanks Yismerelda for making that for me, fellow guildie. Other than that, I still have a bunch of blues, so a bunch of blues and some dungeon gear, and I actually do have my Hunter Legends shawl already, so that's good. And other than that, the gear kind of all sucks. So being able to hit 10K like that is a good deal for me. So any questions or concerns or a better way to do it, please let me know. I will try to take all of your advice and try to better myself and better the rotation. So all of that is appreciated as long as it's done in a fun, healthy manner. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. Like, subscribe, comment, and donate if you feel it. Thanks.